Hello and welcome to another episode of the Real Estate Investing Club. I'm your host, Gabe Peterson, and this is the place investors go to gain actionable advice, learn about current market trends, and hear war stories from other professional investors out there in the field today. Before we get started, I have two quick housekeeping items for you. First, if you like this episode, we would very much appreciate a like, subscribe, and share. It is the best way to support the show and keep it running far into the future. Second, if you're a new investor looking to get started in real estate or an experienced investor looking to take your investing to the next level, I've created an ebook just for you that will cover how to find deals that are actually deals, how to finance those deals with little to no money down, and how to exit those deals for maximum value. On top of that, I throw in an insane amount of free bonuses that you'll have access to once you buy the ebook. All I charge is our admin costs to keep this show running. So if you're serious about real estate investing and want to create both active and passive income as an investor, head on over to the website at therealestateinvestingclub.com and click on the button that says get the ebook in the upper right-hand corner to grab yourself a copy. With that said, let's dive right in. Today we have a very special guest with us, ready to drop some investor knowledge on you. So buckle up, grab your pen and paper, and enjoy the ride. All right. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Real Estate Investing Club. Today we have Satch Bernardt with us. Satch is a multifamily master, and he is here to talk about none other than multifamily, which is one of our favorite assets here to talk about. So, Satch, I'm super excited to have you on. Thanks for hopping on.
Dude, Gabe, thanks for having me.
All right. I told you right before we get on here, we like stories. We like to start out and hear how people got into real estate. So why don't you take us to the beginning? How'd you get started in the first place?
Yeah, for sure. So I actually was an airline pilot.
Nice.
I flew for the airlines for 7 years. I started pretty young. I was 21 when I got hired at the airlines. And 4 years into it, I was 25 and I thought to myself, man, I don't know if I can keep doing this for another 4 years, for 40 years, right? They'll average, you cannot fly longer than 65 years old. They won't renew your medical certificate. So that's the deadline for being an airline pilot. And, you kind of start seeing your fellow coworkers and kind of like their path that they tend to go through, right? And I just knew right away, okay, this is not for me. I love flying an airplane. Flying an airplane is pretty cool, but just the lifestyle that goes with it, it just wasn't meant for me, And so I started looking for other things outside of aviation, and I was always attracted to real estate. Where I grew up in Mexico, and my family had real estate down in Mexico, so I knew that was something that I eventually wanted to start doing in any form or fashion. So I said, you know what, let me just start looking to see what I can do in real estate. I knew right away I didn't want to do any real estate agent stuff. My wife was a real estate agent. I had seen her drive around people around, to look at houses and how, they go to 10, 15 houses and they never pick one. So I said, I don't want to do that. And I discovered wholesaling. So I started wholesaling single family homes. I thought that was the best way to get in. Knowing what I know now, I probably would have not done that, but I'll get into why here in a little bit. And so I started growing that business. This is back in 2018. I started doing the solopreneur thing with the wholesaling business, and we still have that business today. It's up and running. We have 26 team members now in that wholesaling business, and we're still going with it. It only requires now only about 5% of my time in a week, so I'm only involved in it 2 or 3 hours a week. And that's all it takes from me. So that business still generating revenue. I figured it was like, hey, if I already got the business running and it's generating income, why would I cut it off, right? And so, but then from there, I transitioned to multifamily. To kind of bring it back just a little bit, back in 2020, my airline shut down during COVID. How all travel came to a halt in 2020 because of COVID. So my airline ended up shutting down, and that was my exit point. I said, okay, that's it. I got to make wholesaling work. I got to make real estate work. I'm going at it full time, and I just never went back.
Nice, man. I love it. I love to hear, I mean, especially when people are doing it on the side, that is such a difficult, a difficult journey and difficult path to go down, because I know, real estate takes a lot. And if you're also working another job, more power to you. Obviously, you got a lot of strength there. So love to hear that. Wholesaling, so many people do it, so many people get started in it, and you've built up a business. It sounds like it's automated at this point. So I'm really curious to dive a little bit more, a little deeper into that, because it is something that it's an easy way for somebody to get started in real estate who has no experience. And so why don't we just start there? Why don't we start at your wholesaling? You actually mentioned earlier that did you say you wish you hadn't started as a wholesaler, or you wish, what was that statement
Yeah.
there?
If I knew what I know now doing multifamily, I would have not started in single family home wholesaling.
Okay.
And the reason why I say that is because I think it's a misconception to think that you need to start small before you can start
Oh
doing
yeah.
big multifamily deals. And that's the main reason why if I know what I know now, I would have not done this.
Yeah.
And I think you can easily find out that you don't have to start small if you just go like to a multifamily conference. You'll
Mm-hmm.
find out, oh, I can do this.
Yeah.
But nobody goes because you think you don't deserve to be in that room yet, right?
Yeah.
So that's the only reason why I think that.
Yeah. And I mean, so many investors come on here and have that same sentiment. And I myself, I wish I started bigger. Even self-storage, my first self-storage facility was 14,000 square feet. And I wish I started bigger. Anytime you talk to an investor who's a little bit farther down the line, they all say the same thing. I wish I started bigger, because it takes the same amount of effort to close a million square foot facility as it takes to close 100 square foot facility. Same amount of effort. So just go big, or go big at the beginning. That's our advice. But it does, wholesaling, it is a good way to create active income. And it sounds like you do single family. You can also wholesale commercial, and so it's a good way to get your feet wet on the commercial side if you want to get into multifamily at the beginning. We'll stick with wholesaling for just a little bit longer. On that side, what is the best way that you found to create a business, and not something that you are having to put all of your effort into it every single day?
Yeah. I think it starts with keeping track of having all your KPIs is extremely important. So keeping track of all your key performance indicators, those have been crucial for our success. Those, we track everything, like things that I don't even know that we keep track of, we keep track of. And part of us being able to do that is the people that we have hired in our team. We are relentless at looking for the best people that we can find, and by having the right people in the right spot, they help develop the business. They help improve every single operation. So like what I was just mentioning about keeping track of stuff, we have one team member that she is a data maniac. She like keeps track of so many things, but whenever we ask her for reports to make decisions on how we want to, in which direction we want to go, she has reports for everything. So having reports for that helps us really focus on which direction do we need to move. Our great success has been going pretty big in one marketing channel. So like we have, our marketing team is pretty big. We have 18 cold callers, and they're strictly focused on Central Florida. These are all our market is Central Florida, and
You guys are very, very specific. Okay.
very focused here. Yeah, that same person that is a data manager keeps track of which lists are performing better, and she's constantly updating which counties we should be drifting towards, where are the most buyers. So there's a lot of, most of it is just data driven decisions that we're making throughout every single week. And it is really a simple business. It's just very, I would say it's very, in our position, is very man intensive, like workload intensive, right? It's literally is just get deals, find buyers and sell them, right? So there's nothing complicated about that, but it just requires a lot of finding new buyers, constantly be updating our list of who is now buying properties, we were just talking about that this morning, how many people that we have on our list that were buyers at one point stopped being buyers. I used to do rehabs, and I'm sure I'm in many lists from many wholesalers, but I don't, you can show me as many flips as you want. I won't buy it.
I'm not buying that.
Yeah. So it's constantly updating our buyers database, constantly keeping track of which lists are working, which lists are producing the most leads. So it's very workload intensive in that sense. But as long as you're keeping track of the right KPIs, and as long as you have the right people in place, those two things are, to me, are the key to success.
Thanks, man. I love to hear that. Yeah, and I've completely forgot where I was going. I had this thought that I was going to ask, and then I completely forgot the question. But yeah, so it sounds like you guys are really data focused, and that is especially when you're talking about wholesaling, that is super important, because you do need to know where people are actually buying the properties. And that was the question that I was going to ask, is how do you guys build your buyers lists? And it's kind of crazy, because I have found, now I've evolved my own business, and we do commercial wholesaling because, we only focus on commercial properties. But it's harder for us to find good buyers than it is to find good deals. We have deals coming out of, our ears, but finding a good buyer who can close quickly and who has the cash to close is, that's a difficult thing to do. So how do you guys go about developing that buyers list, from as it evolves?
Yeah. And the way you're saying it makes me wonder if in the commercial field is a little bit different, just because of deals being a little bit more complex than like single family homes. But as far as we go in the wholesaling business to build our buyers list, we have different strategies. We have one person in charge of putting all of the leads that we get under contract. She goes into every single Facebook group that there is and starts posting those deals.
Facebook groups. Yep.
Yeah. And it's constantly putting even the same deals, just constantly put them out there until we get them sold. And people start, sending her messages. Hey, can you send me more details about this deal? And then we get their emails that way. And she's going into Facebook groups and scrubbing other people's deals. Like there's a little search bar. You can just type in deal or something relevant to any keyword that somebody else might have put when they were posting a deal. And you can see a bunch of other emails from other people. So she will go there and start grabbing those emails. We also use different softwares. So there's one, is this guy, what's it called? Is it Realtor Worldwide? I don't know how he pronounces, just uses the initials REWW. This is from Ken Clothier. We pull a big list from there, and we start slowly throwing that list into our marketing campaigns. The secret to that is that you can't throw all of the buyers, all of the emails just at once. You got to strategically do it every single time. So we will pull a big buyers list for different counties. And let's say we get a property in X county, right? So we pull, we take a lot of buyers from that list that will be specific to that county, but we only throw in a maximum of 10% of emails that will be equivalent to what we have on our list. So like if our list has 3,000 buyers at that moment, we will grab only 300 new email lists and only throw those in there. If you put more than that, there's a certain percentage of people start saying you're a spam or blocking you, or the email bounces, then the whatever marketing software you're using to send those emails out can detect it as you're just fishing out, and it can block you. So first we do a whitelist. Skip that part. We whitelist those emails to see how many of those are not in service anymore. There's a lot of softwares online that you can use that for. You can throw all those emails in there. It will tell you, hey, don't send emails to these ones. These ones are bound. This one will bounce. So that automatically deletes a couple of emails that would have been a waste. We throw the rest into the marketing campaign, and then we send an email. And we are constantly sending out emails, even repeat emails, just so that we can keep adding emails to our marketing campaign.
Yep, that makes sense. It's an iterative process. Cool. And so that is just the single family side. So you guys don't do any purchases. You're just wholesaling on the single family side.
Yeah, we used to do the purchases, but it just slows us down because now we have to have somebody focus on getting insurance, getting the money line up,
Yeah, all
taking care
that
of the
stuff.
property for whatever time we're gonna hold it, put it in the MLS. So we did it a couple times, but it's just so much workload that we'll rather take a little bit less money and just wholesale it than if we would have made more putting it on the MLS by taking it down.
Yep, makes sense to me. So let's transition a little bit to the multifamily side. That is something that you guys are, that's the other prong of your business. What is it that you guys are looking for there? Do you guys have criteria, location? What's your big, what's your main focus right now?
Yeah. So for that, that is a business that I went about it in a different, how do I say this? It's a completely different branch. Like none of the team members that do the single family
No
wholesaling
overlap.
are in the air are in the multifamily. And on the full multifamily is strictly I just focus on capital raising. And so I'll help a lot of I bring knowledge and education to investors that my main target audience is other airline pilots that
Oh, okay.
throughout all their life they have always invested in 401ks, and they have no idea that they could even invest in real estate. So I bring a lot of this knowledge to them, and business professionals in general that want to invest in real estate and they just don't know where to start. And like you said at the beginning, it takes a lot of time, right? So when people are in a W-2 job and that's their main profession, that's what takes most of their time, and they want to start dabbling in real estate, their success, they won't be able to attain that much success because it requires a lot of time and effort. So this is something I try to explain to them, like, listen, you can go do it on your own, but it's going to take a lot of time. So in multifamily, I focus on bringing capital to deals. So I look for deals that I look to work only with operators that have my same vision and the same criteria for deals. So I focus on value add deals and only focus on southern states like Arizona, Texas, Tennessee, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia, and Florida.
Okay.
Right now I have 4 syndications, one in Phoenix, 2 in Texas, and two in Arizona and 2 in Texas.
Oh, nice.
And so most of the assets are 1980 or newer. I try to buy below replacement cost, meaning if that same building were to be built today, it will cost a lot more than what we're buying it for. That's one of my main criteria for picking a building. I pick areas where population is moving into.
Yep.
So I stay
Net
away from
migration.
many states, like California. I mean, I don't, if you look at the graph, if you just type in population in California, you can see the graph starting to go down, right? And another thing that I look for is to make sure that there's not just one big employer in that area, because we're in multifamily where our income is dependent on people, right? And they
Well, and
are,
every asset, it's dependent on people. If you have
yeah,
a negative net migration, I don't care if you're buying a farm, you're not going to want to
yeah,
buy that
that's
property.
true. That's true. So then if you have so I don't, let's just say for example that Tesla, like Space Coast was say Tesla or SpaceX was the only employer in the area, and the only reason why people moved into the area is because of SpaceX. And then SpaceX goes down the drain, all of your residents that were there because of that job are going to have to move, and your place will be empty, right? So that's one of my big things. I want to see that there's different employers, different sectors. I don't want to see just the one 10 different employers and they're all in the oil and gas industry.
Yeah, oil and gas, man. I stay away from that. That's such a like Midland, Odessa area of Texas. I'm like, nah, I'll do
Yeah,
something else.
exactly. Yeah.
Yep.
So and as far as, so my main job, I guess you can think of it that way, is as it comes to multifamily, is I want vet the operators. So a lot of business professionals don't even know or may not even know where to start on like who to pick, who might be the right guy to invest with. So I do the work of finding good operators that have history of deals hitting or exceeding their projections, and I do a background check on them, make sure. Now is I do repeat businesses, just the same guys that I work with all the time that I know, like, hey, these guys are good guys.
Yeah.
And so most of the people trust me already, and there is no more like, oh, who is this guy that we're maybe working with now? It's very repetitive. And so that's like my main thing. And I still go through the underwriting of the deal. I make sure that the numbers make sense. So I feel like that's the big part of the value that I bring to every single syndication that we put together.
Nice, man. I love it. And it's cool to hear that you focus kind of on the pilot community. I've seen that kind of as a theme from different investors. If you have something from your previous life or your career, I've seen a lot of firefighters focus on firefighter communities. I've seen, active duty military focus on military communities. So if you have that community there already, it is a great base to build from. So I love to hear that you're kind of, you're honing in on the pilots, because I'm sure there's a lot of them out there. There's a lot of flights, that's for sure. All right, I took a peek at the clock. It looks like we do have to move on into the quick question round. So I am going to start us off with the first question about books or any form of education. So give me 2 recommendations, one for general life wisdom, one for real estate specific.
And this is about the book related or just in general?
It can be just any form of education. If you listen to podcasts, you can give a recommendation there. If you're about YouTube, do that. Whatever form of education you like to consume, 2 recommendations, one for general life wisdom and one for real estate.
Yeah. So as far as real estate, I'll say just go to any meetups that you can, any conferences, meetups. I don't have one particular thing, but as many people as you can connect with, just go and shake hands. We live in a virtual world, but I think nothing beats meeting people face to face.
Yep.
That's my one real estate recommendation. Look for any meetups in your area and just go to them. Even if it's a wrong meetup, even if it's not related to what you want to do, just go meet some people. And as far as wisdom in general, I'll say just take action. I think I mentioned this to a couple of people sometimes, that like sometimes I make decisions and I only have like 70-80% of the data that I need to make a decision. I just fucking go for it, because if I wait for the other 30-20%, it may not even be enough for me to make a decision, but I'm just like, screw it, let's just go. Right.
And you'll never get there. You'll never get to 100% knowledge. That's just not humanly possible. So that's really good advice. All right, I'm going to move us on. And this is for your younger self. You've kind of already given a piece of wisdom, but if you can go back to the Satch who had no experience, he was still a pilot, still flying in the skies, go to him, give him one piece of advice in real estate moving forward.
I think we touched at the beginning, but I'll say go big and team up. Team up with other people. I think at the beginning my ego was in the way, and I sort of felt like I had to be the only one. I had to be the guy driving everything and doing everything. But the bigger you go, you start realizing that everybody sort of stays in their lane. Like, just I raise capital. There's operators that need me to bring capital to the table, and I need them because they're the ones that operate the deal and have the experience running the deal. So team up.
Yep, that is good advice. It takes a team to do anything in real estate, and it's a lot more just than capital. Even on the operations side, there are tons of people involved. So team up. That is really good advice. All right, moving on. This one is lost my place. There it is. United States, it's a big place. There's a lot of opportunity out there, a lot of square miles. So give me one MSA, one city that you are most excited about investing in today.
Orlando,
good one. Orlando, is that on the east side or the west side of the Panhandle there?
it's very in the central. It's more, I would say probably the more eastern, but very central.
Very central. Okay.
Yeah.
Florida is just crushing it. There's so much growth down there. So that's good to see. Orlando, good recommendation. And second to last question is tools. Tools form the backbone of any business. So point to one tool that your business could not live without.
Slack.
All right. You're actually one of the not the first, but you're one of a few people who say Slack. And so it's interesting that you say that. That's just because that's how you guys communicate, right?
Yeah, all day, every single day.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Slack's a good one. We actually use what's the one, the Microsoft Teams. Microsoft Teams
Mm.
kind of pisses me off sometimes. It's a little bit, finicky. I've been thinking about jumping over to Slack. But maybe I will one of these days because I've heard good reviews.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, and that leads us to the very last question. You've given a lot of good advice, so I'm sure people out there want to reach out and say hi. What is the best way for them to do that?
Yeah, for sure. If they can head over to my website, bernhardcapital.net/ebook. I have a free ebook that they can download. All my information is on there, and hopefully we'll stay in touch.
All right, and that is BERNHARDT capital.net. Kind of a different way to spell that, and so don't just put in Bernard Capital. Won't go to the right place, but I'll put that URL in the show notes. So if you guys want to reach out to Satch, just click a little more in the description. It'll pull down the full description, and in there you can find Satch's link. So that wraps it up. Thank you very much for hopping on the show. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Gabe.
Absolutely. For everybody who's here with us today, thank you guys for showing up. You are the reason we do this. So if you guys have any questions whatsoever, reach out to me, Gabe at therealestateinvestingclub.com. Other than that, as always, hope you guys have an absolutely fantastic week. Keep rocking real estate, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Thank you for joining us for another episode of the Real Estate Investing Club. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode as much as I enjoyed putting it on, and we're able to pull some actionable advice that you can apply in your own investing today in the field. Before you go, we have a gift for you. If you're a new investor looking to get started or an established investor looking to take your investing to the next level, I've created an ebook just for you, available on our website. This ebook will cover how I was able to create both active and passive income in real estate with very little money to start with. In it, I will address the 3 most often cited obstacles new and veteran investors run into by showing you how to find deals that are actually deals, how to finance a deal with little to no money down, and how to exit those deals for maximum value. And if you get the ebook today, I am throwing in a bundle of bonuses, 7 of them to be exact. The first one will be the off-market lead generation blueprint, which will take you through the exact systems and processes we use to generate off-market leads like clockwork, which is the most important skill when it comes to creating wealth in real estate. The second bonus is the A to Z REI systems and vendors guide, which will allow you to peek under the hood of our business and see the exact tools, systems, and even the vendors we use to see the success that we do. And the third bonus is the top 100 best performing keywords pack, which will give you the exact keywords we use to target motivated sellers online using PPC ads. The fourth bonus is our contracts bundle for wholesaling and renting real estate, which will give you access to all the contracts we use in the field to execute all different types of transactions. After that is the Investors Quick Analysis Calculator and Offer Tool, which will allow you to quickly calculate whether a deal is an actual deal and will allow you to create an offer automatically from those calculations. This is a lot of bonuses that I said. I'm just going to keep going down the list. Number 6 is the Investors Daily Success Tracker, which is a tracker you can use to ensure you are taking the right actions day in and day out to reach your financial goals in real estate. And the last bonus is the Wholesalers Template for Quick Assignment Cash, which will give you the templates we use to present our wholesale deals professionally and efficiently to our buyers. Whew, that is a bundle. So it's a mouthful. You get all of those bonuses for free when you download the ebook. All we charge is the admin cost to run the show. So if you're interested in the ebook and the bonus bundle, head on over to the website at therealestateinvestingclub.com. Click on Get the ebook bundle at the top of the page to take advantage of that deal. And with that said, I hope you have a fantastic day, an even better week. Keep rocking real estate, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode.